This video will prepare you for the Unit 4 Weather and Climate ISN Check video. Please make sure page 89 has the complete table of contents. If you're missing something, please stop the video now and fill it in. On page 90 should be your Unit 4 vocabulary. This should be accompanied with a packet on top that has your definitions and words and pictures. On page 91 should be your daily weather report, and on page 92 is our Intro to California Climates map. On page 93 is the Weather and Climate Venn diagram. Unless you're in period 7, this is on page 95. But for the other two classes, this is on page 93. And on page 94 are your completed weather and climate notes. Remember, if you're missing anything, they are attached to the daily agenda, so you can print out any of these handouts. On page 95 is the Climate Zone slide presentation template, and on page 96 is the California presentation zone notes that we took as people gave presentations. So you have your template on 95 and the presentations on 96. On page 97 should be Bill Nye Storms, and on page 98 should be your weather tools notes. On the next page we should have the lab and humidity, relative humidity notes. This is where we took notes on the heat with the sponge and adding spoonfuls. And across from that we should have humidity in action, graphing and talking about humidity as we graphed the rain here in Carlsbad. On page 101 we should see the home section from the textbook and the questions we answered below. And on page 102 the lab density and weather, oh my. So please make sure that is completely filled in. On page 103 we have the Bill Nye wind worksheet. On page 104, we have differential heating lab, where we looked at when's the best time to surf based on how fast sand and water heated up. So please make sure that this is filled in as well. And for some classes, we extended the response into the notebook paper on the back there. On page 105 is the vocabulary warm-up we did, filling in the blanks for the vocabulary. And 106 is the convection, current, and air mass lab. We looked at how hot and warm air fronts occur. And then we also have, on page 107, the puzzling weather scenarios. Remember, you might see some of these on the test, so make sure you review this. And on page 108 is the modeling of the greenhouse effect, where we got to model how that looks. So we have our graph on the back and our questions, and then we drew the diagram also underneath on the notebook paper. And then we have, on page 109, our goals for second semester. And on page 110, our diagram on the greenhouse effect and how it is created. And lastly, there should be on page 111 the score sheet for the global warming game, and lastly your study guide. So if you're missing anything, check out the daily agendas or the absent file in class. Please make sure everything's filled in, and remember, if you were absent, you're still responsible for getting the work. See ya later.